If you ever focus through an M6 rangefinder patch, watch the meter arrows settle in the finder, or advance the film with your thumb before the next frame, you already know how little the camera tried to do for you. That simplicity became its greatest strength. Leica stopped building the M6 in 2002, but photographers never really stopped wanting it, and 2 decades later, the camera returned. Welcome to AltBuzz Archives. Subscribe if you want more stories like this one. Rewind to 1971. Lights released the Leica M5, the first M rangefinder with through-the-lens metering, a real spot meter reading light straight off the film plane instead of a clip-on accessory. On paper, progress. In practice, a taller body, a flat-top plate, an oversized dial, and a shape that no longer resembled the M-line photographers had carried since the 50s. Sales stumbled. Accounts point to a flooded market and a cheaper Leica CL competing for the same buyers. Not the size alone, but the size didn't help either. Lights pulled back, reviving the meterless M4, then refining it into the M4II and M4P by 1981. Message received: photographers wanted the meter, but not at the cost of the camera around it. The M5 hadn't just changed dimensions, it had broken a contract nobody asked it to touch. The Leica M6 didn't reinvent anything, and that was the point. Built on the M4P platform, sized like the original M3, engineers wired in through the lens, metering without touching the shape photographers trusted. A silicon photodiode beside the lens mount reads "Light bounced off a gray patch printed onto the first shutter curtain. Center weighted across roughly the middle 13% of frame." Red LED arrows appear the moment a finger rests on the shutter release. One for too much light, one for too little. Dark when you've nailed it. Here's what mattered most. The shutter is horizontal cloth, fully mechanical, running from 1 full second to 1/1000th, plus bulb, flash sync at 1/50th. Pull the batteries and it keeps firing at every speed because timing never depended on electricity. Only the meter goes dark. In an industry racing toward electronic shutters and program modes that died with a dead battery, Leica offered the opposite: help when you wanted it, nothing lost when you didn't. Look through the viewfinder and you see more than your frame. Bright lines mark exactly what the lens captures, while the space around them keeps showing what's about to enter it, and street photographers built entire habits around that margin. Rangefinder focusing works by coincidence. 2 images sliding into alignment, fast once trained, genuinely awkward at first, never ideal up close or at long telephoto. Exposure asked for participation, not obedience. Watch the arrows, adjust the ring or dial, shoot the instant they leveled. Loading meant popping the bottom plate entirely off, threading the leader by feel, advancing with a thumb lever that became automatic. None of it was effortless. Top speed capped at 1/1000th. Flash sync sat at 1/50th. Bottom loading was slower than a hinged back. A deep rear lens element could occasionally confuse that curtain-mounted meter cell. None of that mattered enough to keep people away. Compact body, compact M-mount glass, a shutter quieter than most contemporary SLRs, full manual control. That combination made it the working tool for reportage and documentary shooters for 2 straight decades, and it's why names like Annie Leibovitz and Jim Marshall are documented shooting one, not because a famous name makes a camera good, but because that's who actually trusted it on the job. Quick note: if you're enjoying this, our core membership at $7 a month and Elite at $20 help keep this channel independent. Links in the description. Back to the story. The original ran 1984 through 98 when Leica introduced the M6 TTL, adding through the lens, flash metering, and a larger dial that finally turned the same direction as the meter arrows. The TTL grew slightly taller for its electronics, and viewfinder magnification expanded across 0.58, 0.72, and 0.85 times options. Across both eras, Leica handmade close to 175,000 bodies in Wetzlar, refining ergonomics and flash compatibility without ever touching the underlying philosophy. age eventually showed up in ordinary ways. Meter electronics that can drift, rangefinders needing recalibration, some zinc top plates bubbling cosmetically, the normal costs of a mechanical tool built for constant use. Production ended in 2002. Leica introduced the electronic aperture priority M7 around the same time, then the fully mechanical MP, splitting the M6's audience between more automation and stricter tradition. Digital M bodies were coming too. Every signal pointed toward quiet obsolescence. Instead, used prices climbed. Film photography's slow revival pulled in younger photographers discovering rangefinders through the same platforms this channel lives on, and the M6 sat at a sweet spot nothing else matched, metered, fully mechanical, compatible with Leica's enormous lens catalog, familiar enough that repair shops still understood it completely. Not everyone buys the reputation. Critics point to real service costs, aging meter circuits, no aperture priority at all, and cheaper alternatives like the MP, the Zeiss Icon, or the Voigtländer Bessa, offering comparable rangefinder shooting for considerably less. Some demand is genuinely photographic, some is aspirational Leica ownership. Both are real, and both kept pushing prices upward for years, which raises the obvious question: Leica already had the MP in production. So why bring the M6 name back specifically? Stick around, subscribe now if you haven't, because that answer is the whole reason this story exists. On the 20th of October, 2022, in Wetzlar, Leica announced the M6 as regular production, not a limited run. Shipping began that November at $5,295 in the United States. Leica's own statement was direct. Analog photography was experiencing a genuine renaissance, and a new generation wanted to participate actively in the process rather than simply consume images. The new body sits on current MP architecture, milled from solid brass instead of die-cast zinc, finished in the same lacquer used on Leica's current digital bodies, with coated viewfinder optics and a red confirmation dot beside the meter arrows, plus a low battery warning the original never had. The red lights logo returns, the slanted rewind crank returns, and everything that made the original matter stayed untouched: manual focus, manual exposure, manual film advance, a fully mechanical shutter, the M-Mount. Leica wasn't dramatizing an absence of modern features. Preserving them was the entire announcement. That price tag invites an honest question: why pay current money for an experience rooted in 1984? The answer isn't marketing language. It's brand new mechanicals under warranty, milled brass built to be serviced for decades, and the same lens ecosystem that made the original desirable in the first place. The Leica M6 survived because Leica found a balance decades earlier that never depended on being fashionable. The meter made the classic experience easier. Everything else aged slowly enough to still feel current, and that combination was worth waiting 20 years to bring back. 1984 gave photographers a meter without asking them to give anything up. 2002 took the name off shelves without taking the camera out of their hands. 2022 proved the idea was worth building again. So here's the real question. If you shot an original M6 when it was simply the current Leica, does the 2022 version feel like the same camera or a different one wearing its name? Drop your answer in the comments. We read everyone. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this, and if this research is worth something to you, a super thanks keeps AltBuzz Archives independent. Find everything else we make at AltBuzz Media. See you in the next one.